The phrase, "What happens next?" is one of the most powerful tools in storytelling, headlines, and viral content. It is a classic curiosity trigger that plays directly on human psychology. In this part of the title, it works as the turning point, the moment where the reader is pulled deeper into the mystery and feels compelled to find out the outcome. Curiosity. The brain wants to know. Humans are naturally curious creatures. When we hear part of a story, our minds automatically want to fill in the missing pieces. The phrase, "What happens next?" taps into this instinct. It signals that something important is about to be revealed, but deliberately withholds the answer. This creates a mental gap, a question mark that the reader feels an almost irresistible urge to close. This is known as the curiosity gap in psychology and marketing. The brain feels uncomfortable when it knows there's a missing piece of information, especially when the setup has emotional stakes, in this case, a baby and a dog. The only way to satisfy this curiosity is to read further, building suspense without spoilers. Beauty of What Happens Next is that it builds suspense without giving anything away. It hints that something unusual or surprising is coming, but it doesn't spoil the nature of the event. This means the story could take many directions, something heartwarming, shocking, frightening, or even humorous. This open-endedness allows the title to appeal to a broad audience because each person projects their own expectations or fears onto the story. Some may imagine danger, others may hope for a touching moment of loyalty or bravery from the dog. Because no specifics are given, the curiosity remains universal. Emotional engagement. The reader is already emotionally invested. Because the story involves a mother, a baby, and a dog, all symbols of innocence, love, and protection. By adding "What happens next?" the title taps into these emotions and increases the tension. The reader knows that something is going to happen, and because the situation involves such vulnerable characters, the stakes feel high. Even people who don't usually click on stories might find themselves unable to resist, simply because the combination of curiosity and emotional connection is so strong. Active language. A sense of movement. Words, "What happens next?" create a feeling of movement. The story is in motion. This is not a static situation where nothing changes. Instead, the title suggests that events are unfolding and that the reader is about to witness the result of a delicate moment in time. This sense of action makes the story feel urgent and alive, pulling the reader in to see the next frame in the sequence. The promise of resolution. Finally, What Happens Next offers an unspoken promise. If you read the story, you will find the answer. This keeps the reader's attention and drives them toward the resolution. It is one of the simplest but most effective tools for increasing engagement and click-through, because people don't like to leave questions hanging. Asterisk, the final part of the title, "Leaves her speechless," plays a crucial role in giving the headline its emotional punch and ensuring that readers feel a strong urge to know what happened. This phrase suggests that whatever occurred in the story was so powerful, shocking, or moving that the mother, who is at the heart of this story, couldn't even find words to describe it. It creates an emotional payoff without actually revealing the outcome, which is key to keeping curiosity alive. The power of emotional reaction. Words, "Leaves her speechless," immediately tell readers that the event in question is significant. Whether it was heartwarming, terrifying, or breathtaking, it was something that deeply affected the mother emotionally. Most people understand that to be truly speechless is rare. It means experiencing something beyond words, something that touches the heart or stuns the senses. This taps into the audience's empathy. Readers start to imagine how they would feel in the mother's place. Would they be shocked, overjoyed, scared? This deepens their emotional connection to the story and makes them even more eager to find out. What exactly happened to cause such a powerful reaction? Leaving the outcome a mystery, importantly, this phrase doesn't spoil the ending. It gives the reader a clue that something major happened, but it carefully avoids saying whether the event was positive or negative. This open-endedness is a key storytelling tool because it leaves the curiosity gap open until the very last moment, pushing the reader to click or read further to find closure. For example, if the baby was saved in a heroic act by the dog, the mother would be speechless with gratitude and amazement. If the dog did something surprisingly gentle or human-like, the mother would be speechless with wonder. If there was a sudden danger, she might be speechless with shock or fear, because the reader doesn't know which direction the story will take. They are compelled to read on. Universal emotional language. The phrase leaves her speechless uses universal emotional language that appeals to a wide audience. No matter the reader's background, most people understand the feeling of being so overwhelmed by emotion that words fail. This is not a technical or intellectual reaction. It is a deeply human experience that crosses all cultures. This is also why this type of title is so often used in viral stories, human interest pieces, and emotional news. It plays on the idea that something unforgettable is about to be shared. The unspoken promise. Finally, this phrase promises the reader that what lies within the story will be worth their time. If something left the mother speechless, it must be remarkable. This sets an expectation that the story will deliver something touching, dramatic, or shocking, something worth experiencing vicariously. By ending the title this way, the story teases not just an event but an emotional journey, giving readers a reason to invest their attention. The word mom is a small but powerful choice that sets the emotional tone of the entire story. Right from the first word, the reader understands that this is not just any random person, it is a mother. The use of mom immediately brings up feelings of love, care, protection, and deep responsibility. Most people, whether they are parents themselves or not, instinctively understand the strong bond between a mother and her child. This bond carries with it the idea that a mother will do anything to protect her baby, using the informal term mom instead of something more distant like mother also makes the story feel personal and relatable. Mom is a word most people use every day. It feels close to home, warm, and familiar. This helps readers connect quickly with the story on an emotional level, even before they know what happens. In storytelling, the choice of the main character is critical because readers often place themselves in the shoes of that character. By starting the title with mom, the reader is invited to feel the same concern, fear, or surprise that any mother might feel in this situation. It makes the audience think, what if this were me? What if I were the one leaving my baby alone? For just a moment? The image of a mother also instantly calls up ideas of trust and vulnerability. A mother trusts her surroundings or those she leaves her child with, even if it's only for a few seconds. In this case, the trust is placed in a German Shepherd, which adds another layer of curiosity because not everyone would feel comfortable leaving a tiny, helpless baby alone with a large dog, even for a short time. Another reason mom is an effective starting point is that it builds an immediate sense of stakes. If something were to go wrong, the cost would be enormous, not just for the child but also for the mother, who would feel deep guilt and pain. This emotional weight makes the reader care more about the outcome of the story. The reader doesn't need to know anything else yet. Just knowing that a mother is involved is enough to spark concern and curiosity. Finally, the word mom appeals to a wide audience. Many people are mothers themselves, have mothers, or have women in their lives who play motherly roles. This makes the story accessible to almost everyone. It doesn't matter where the reader is from or what their background is, the protective, Instincts of a parent are universally understood. In summary, mom is not just a simple word here. It is the emotional anchor of the story. It creates an immediate human connection, builds tension and stakes, and sets the reader up to care deeply about what will happen next. Without this word, the story would lose much of its heart and emotional pull. It is the first and most important building block of this headline's success. This part of the title is where the tension, mystery, and emotional hook really begin. The phrase, "leaves baby alone with German Shepherd," immediately paints a clear mental image of a situation that feels both everyday and risky. It introduces the event that sets the entire story in motion and creates a natural question in the reader's mind. What happened while the baby was alone with the dog? Let's break it down step by step. The action, leaves baby alone. The words "leaves baby alone" create a sense of vulnerability. Babies are the most fragile and defenseless beings. In almost every culture, the idea of leaving a baby alone, even for a short time, can feel unsettling or even dangerous. It triggers the reader's protective instincts. The word "alone" is key because it suggests that the baby is unattended, which raises concerns about safety. Even though the mother is likely only stepping away for a brief moment, the idea of any baby being left alone automatically introduces suspense. The reader begins to worry. Is the baby okay? Is something bad going to happen? This is a classic storytelling technique known as planting a question in the reader's mind, and it's very effective in keeping people interested. The "who with German Shepherd." The next part, "with German Shepherd," adds a specific character to the scene, the dog. German Shepherds are known for being intelligent, loyal, and protective. They are often seen as guard dogs, police dogs, or family pets. However, they are also large, powerful animals. For people who are not familiar with the breed or who have seen media portrayals of dogs acting unpredictably, this can trigger a mix of emotions: trust, fear, curiosity, and fascination. The combination of a helpless baby and a large dog is powerful because it plays on two contrasting ideas. Dogs are often called man's best friend and are seen as faithful companions. At the same time, animals are unpredictable by nature, especially around small children, who may not know how to behave safely around them. The presence of the German Shepherd also sets the stage for something unexpected or dramatic to happen. The reader wonders, will the dog protect the baby? Will the dog accidentally harm the baby? Will something amazing or heroic happen? This mix of worry and hope keeps the reader emotionally hooked. The visual impact, another reason this part of the title is so effective, is because it's visual. Without even seeing a picture, readers can instantly imagine a small baby sitting in a room and a large German Shepherd standing or sitting nearby. This mental image is strong and clear, making the story more memorable. The emotional hook, lastly. This situation carries emotional weight. Parents, dog lovers, and even people without children feel a natural emotional pull toward the safety of both the baby and the dog. It opens the door for a story that could end in shock, joy, fear, or inspiration, any of which makes the reader want to know more. In short, Part 2 introduces the event that triggers the suspense and curiosity that drives people to click, read, or watch what happens next. The phrase "for moments" may seem small, but it plays a crucial role in the structure and emotional pull of the title. It tells the reader how long the mother left the baby alone with the German Shepherd, just for a very short time. This small detail is packed with psychological tension, realism, and relatability, and it helps build the urgency and suspense that make the reader want to know what happens next. The meaning of moments by saying the mother left the baby. For moments, the title highlights that this wasn't a long or deliberate decision. She didn't abandon the baby or walk away for hours. It was quick, brief, just seconds or a minute or two. This makes the situation believable and realistic, because many parents can relate to stepping away for a moment, maybe to grab something from another room, answer the door, or pick up a phone call. This everyday action is something that almost everyone has done or witnessed, which draws the audience into the story. It creates an emotional connection because the situation is not extreme or far-fetched. It could easily happen in real life. The suspense of time, the phrase "for moments," also plays a key role in building suspense. The shorter the time frame, the more surprising it feels when something significant happens. Readers naturally think, how could something shocking or life-changing happen in just a few moments? This builds curiosity. What could possibly happen in such a short time? Was there enough time for danger? Was there enough time for something amazing? This tension between time and consequence is a classic storytelling technique that keeps people hooked. It promises that something unexpected is going to happen, even though the window of time was tiny. The fragility of moments, another reason for moments, is powerful is because it highlights the fragility of life and how quickly things can change. In storytelling and in life, moments can matter. A single moment can bring disaster, joy, or transformation. By focusing on this brief period, the title suggests that the outcome, whatever it is, was completely unforeseen and happened before anyone could react. This plays on a universal human fear that things can happen when we least expect them. And sometimes, no matter how careful we are, life can change in an instant. Relatability and excuse the phrase also softens any judgment against the mother. It makes clear that she only stepped away briefly, which helps readers avoid immediately blaming her for leaving the baby alone. Instead of focusing on possible neglect, readers are invited to focus on the unexpected outcome. Most readers will understand that it's nearly impossible to have constant, uninterrupted supervision, especially for something as quick as a few moments. This creates a subtle forgiveness in the reader's mind and keeps the story focused on the mystery instead of blame. Conclusion: The Gift of Seconds, in short, for moments, introduces urgency, realism, and suspense into the title. It tells readers that whatever happened, it happened fast, and that even the shortest span of time can bring about something life-changing. This fuels curiosity and draws people into the story, making them eager to find out how so much could happen in so little time.